Hello, everyone.
Hi. Guys, we've got such an exciting session for you today. There's four very busy people on this afternoon tea session from her. So before we do anything, why don't we all introduce ourselves? We'll start with you, Chef Bob.
Hello, guys. My name is Bob. I'm originally from Poland, but I live in UK, working at the moment for one of the Gordon Ramsay restaurants. Yeah, just hello, everyone.
Thank you, Bob. Arlene?
Hi, everyone. I'm Arlene. I'm the founder of Nazani Tea. And the brand is the UK's only luxury premium herbal only brand that works on sustainability, ethical sourcing, and transparency.
And downright tasty, delicious infusions, I must say. We love it.
Thanks.
I love it. I love Nazani too.
Right, guys, we are up for a treat today. So we're going to be talking to you about how to create an afternoon tea session from home. So we've got the wonderful Chef Bob, who's going to be creating 3 lovely treats. I myself am going to be cooking a gluten-free bread and some scones. And the wonderful Arlene is our in-house infusion expert who's going to be talking to us about the lovely teas and how we can incorporate them into our afternoon tea. So Chef Bob, seeing as you're doing so much today, why don't we start with you? Why don't you let us know what we're actually making today?
Okay, I was thinking today just to make something which, I've got the ingredients, I've got a beautiful tea. And the first tea which I have been introduced is Elderflower Tea, which I have to say now is in the season, all the flowers are flowering. And I have to say, I've got some beautiful of them.
Oh,
yes, so
that's lovely.
I have to say, I was running around the River Thames and looking for them, just to bring them home because they smell beautiful. And I did that yesterday. Also, I did something like a kind of elderflower tea from the fresh flowers.
Oh wow!
Wow.
Yeah, so I've got your tea, which is I have to say is amazing. So I was thinking what to do with it, and I came up with the idea to make to match this flavor with chicken liver or duck liver parfait.
Ooh!
Oh, wow!
I was thinking what to do, and the traditional sandwiches. Okay, you can make them. You can spread the chicken liver parfait over the bread and make the sandwiches. But I was thinking to do something different, so I made the elderflower jelly. Which what I'm gonna do? I cubed them, so I made it a little bit before, which is I did a very strong like tea extract. I would say essence. Then I had some gelatin and I let it. I left in the fridge just to set. So now it's ready. So I was thinking, sometimes when you eat the cheese, you're eating your grapes.
Yeah.
With it. So I've got, instead of grapes for my pate, I've got my beautiful cubes of jelly, which yeah, it's a little bit strange. So I'm thinking about
wow.
Kind of sharing idea of afternoon tea first kind of sandwich, which we can. You don't have to make them. You can make some after. I did like chicken liver parfait in a little pot. Then I will show you for the second. 1 second. So I did this jelly, which is I have to say I'm surprised because I'm kind of I like to challenge things, and so I did this kind of jelly, which is already set in the middle of container, and then it's easy to cut. And it's melting because it's hot weather. It's melting in your mouth as well. So once you're eating with your toast, you just keep you've got all your flavors melting down and brings you this special fresh taste. Of course, you can if you want to put, for example, make nice presentation, you can put those cubes on the beginning on your chicken liver pate or parfait. It depends how you want to make it. It's like kind of spread, and this is your kind of presentation. Okay, so it's very simple. You put on the middle of the table with lots of different, another one, different flavors. So you can put the hummus, you can put the, salmon or something, whatever traditional way of filling for the sandwiches. And what you need to do is just put the toaster on and just cut your, little toast, dip in, and just have your jelly at the end. So it's amazing. I have to say, it's fun and good idea.
It looks amazing. So you made that with the elderflower tea and gelatin, and that's it?
I put a little bit of honey. I wanted to have some nice flavor. So it's nice and sweet and full of elderflower flavor. So it's nice and refreshing. So you can now, even for decoration, you can use that fresh elderflower on the for the presentation when you're meeting your guests or meeting your friends and family for afternoon tea. Just to impress them, you can just put the beautiful, and they just.
Oh, that looks spectacular!
They just put it, something which first what you're doing, you're eating with your eyes.
Yeah.
So the presentation number one, then you've got the flavor, and then is a wow effect because you've got these little things which you eating and tasting, and the flavors start working together. So I think this idea is super good. And I have to say, for example, in Poland, the elderflower is very, very popular. We are making kind of, I would say, liquor with the elderflowers. We're drying for the tea. We're drying, and we love the tea as well. So it's something which is very, 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 familiar for me. And
that looks so beautiful. And actually, Chef Bob, I don't know if you know this, but obviously the elderflower that Nazani used, I'll let Arlene tell you a little bit about it, but it's quite a special elderflower, isn't it, Arlene?
Yeah, so actually our elderflower comes from Armenia in the Caucasian mountains. So it's quite a special one. It's actually picked, foraged 2,200 meters above sea level. So pretty high up and very pure as you can get. And normally, ages ago, it used to be used by the monks in the monasteries, and they used to combine that with another thing called linden and make all sorts of concoctions, which are very good for health benefits. So yeah, so that's why it's special. So it's a wild foraged at altitude.
Amazing. And Chef Bob, will you be showing us how to make that chicken liver parfait?
I think it's a too big process how to make it. So I made it yesterday, and it takes. I have to say, you need a couple of hours to make it right, because. But I can tell you quickly how to make it.
Yes.
All you need to do is you need to get some nice, good quality chicken livers, devein them, and just wash them, or you can soak them even in the milk on the beginning. Just leave them overnight. Next day, what you need to do, but this is very simple. I'm not talking about the restaurant, when the methods are completely different, and you're looking for completely different product, what you want to serve. What I used is shallots. I used the red wine. I used a little bit of Madeira. I used a little bit of garlic. So I cooked my livers with the garlic, with the onions, shallots. And I did some butter, and at the end, when they're almost cooked, they're still pink, I put in a food processor, and I add slowly, when they're still hot, I add my butter.
Okay.
So the butter, when the butter start melting and start working together with the liver, and what you need to do, you can pass it through the kind of mesh or chinois or something, and you can pipe it into the shape which you want to do it. And just very simple. So you've got lots of flavor from the liver. You don't want to anything else. You can add the brandy, you can add the Madeira, you can add the red wine, you can add the white wine if you want. And you can infuse. That's what it is. It's a very simple spread.
Yeah, absolutely. And liver is such a creamy texture. And you love your pate as well, don't you, Beck?
Oh, I love pate. Yeah, so I can't wait to try and make this. It sounds delicious.
You can even try with the more expensive, more premium ingredients, which is foie gras, which is that.
Oh wow!
That's the one. But you have to you need a little bit of skills how to do it, because it's 80% that liver is a fat.
Yeah.
So So you need a little bit of skills, you need proper recipe how to make it. Otherwise, we'll get split, and or you can have his I don't know how to even name it.
That's such good tips there, Chef Bob, and you know we're really excited about seeing more of your creations. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to quickly prepare this gluten-free bread and then hand over back to you guys because I have to put the blender on. But I want to talk to you about what I'm going to make very quickly, guys. So later on we're going to make some scones, but right now we're just going to make some gluten-free bread. All of the recipes will be posted. And I'm making this especially for you, Beth, because you're gluten intolerant, aren't you?
I am.
Becky's, we think she's celiac because every time she eats bread, it's not good. So I wanted to make something like gluten-free here, guys. So in this pot here, I don't know if you can see, but I mixed it already. For ease, I've got Brazil nuts. I've got oats. You might have to mix it around a bit so they can see it, Beck. So we've got Brazil nuts, we've got oats, we have desiccated coconut, we have almonds, we have mixed herbs, and then we have a little bit of sodium bicarbonate and a bit of baking powder to give that a rise. So there's no gluten or no flour in here. I've used gluten-free oats as well, guys. So literally, all I'm going to do is pop that into the blender, and then we're going to crack in 3 eggs. Don't worry, guys, all of the recipes are going to be on the site a little bit later. So I'm just going to crack in the 3 eggs. Here you go. Very quickly. I've also put a teaspoon of salt in here, guys, because it is a savoury bread. Now, I've got a bit of a magic ingredient for this. Because I'm putting cheese in there, I also like to add a bit of chili. So I've got a bit of habanero Tabasco sauce that I'm going to add into this bread.
That's unusual for the bread, I have to say.
Yeah, it's unusual, isn't it, Chef Bob? But it's definitely a salty bread. Can you see how much chili I put in there? Sorry, Becky. I'm such a... It's delicious, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really nice.
And then here we've just got 50 grams of Parmigiano going in there. And then what I'm going to do, guys, is just put this on the blender. Now, I've got some milk here. So sometimes it varies, guys. There's no set amount. In here, I've got like 1 cup, 200 millilitres. So I'm not sure I'll use all of this, but I'll keep pouring it in until I get the perfect consistency on the blender. But I'm going to put mine on mute now. And back to you, Arlene. Do you want to tell us a little bit more about what else elderflower can work with in terms of flavour?
Yeah, actually. So elderflower is really good with really creamy fish dishes. I've actually paired it myself at functions with a creamy cod dish or creamy haddock. Yeah, it's really flexible. I personally have just come from a seminar on Instagram where actually you can use it for more than cooking. You can also make it into cocktails and mocktails. So Chef Bob, I don't know whether you can see, this is the remaining mocktail mixer that I did earlier. I don't know if you can see that.
It's kind of lemonade or something like.
Yeah, so it's basically what I've done is I've done like a Pim's alternative. So a lot of people complain and they say, oh, you know, Pim's is such a
I was thinking about it.
Yeah.
I was thinking yesterday, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So basically it's like it's a long infuse. So because it's used as a base of a mix of a cocktail or a mocktail, you wouldn't want to be serving this straight. I put hot water to extract everything out. And then I just sort of decant it, mix it with the usual fruits that you would do at Pim's. And then, of course, yeah, you add it with lemonade or however you'd want to make it. And then, yeah, this is literally what I was drinking earlier.
Hey!
So continuation of the last, it was an Instagram thing, now onto Facebook. So do you use, I just want to know, do you use elderflower in cooking a lot then in Poland, or is this sort of a unique concept?
We more treat the elderflowers more like kind of good stuff for your health, rather than using these ingredients with the cooking. I think this is very new for us, for chefs in Poland to use this. I mean, desserts, definitely desserts. But to match them with the, for example, with the savory, like dishes like you know, the chicken liver parfait, or even main courses, fish, meat, whatever. It's kind of, you need, because it's kind of strong, but still kind of new for us flavor. So we're in process of, I mean, everyone is in process of looking for the new ideas and tasting what's, and but you know, you may like it, but all the best feedback is from the other people. So once it takes longer to introduce this kind of, you know, flavor, because you need the feedback. So you need people to taste it. You need more information. What's wrong with it, or how to use it. So but we are using kind of for pharmacy purposes, which is kind of more tea in the morning. Tea.
I completely agree. Absolutely. So historically, the Caucasian area, they would use it as well medicinally. As I said, the monks would use it for concoctions. I don't know if everyone knows, it's very antiviral. It's got incredible amounts of vitamins in it, and it also brings down fevers, which is fantastic, especially in this current climate. So what it does is it promotes sweating. Sorry?
Are we still talking about elderflower? So sorry, because the
we are. We're saying that's okay. Don't worry. We're saying that I was saying that we both, Chef and I, both agree that actually is used medicinally more than cooking with, and this is a fairly new concept to use elderflower. And I was saying that actually it even brings down fevers by promoting sweating. So of course, yes, it's been used for literally hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of years medicinally. So yeah, just exploring the new concepts of cooking with it.
Yeah, absolutely. And in places like Germany, I think they've got it on the NHS, haven't they? During the winter. Because
that's it. So bringing down fevers and coughs and colds, absolutely.
I must say, Arlene, honestly, the elderflower tea is one of the most natural things that I've tried that helps alleviate when you're feeling unwell or fevers. Is sensational, and it's absolutely flavorful as well, guys. We absolutely love the elderflower tea. You know, it works with cheeses. It works really well with game. Chef Bob, you have to try it with like a venison medallion with rosemary and, you know, garlic potatoes. It's absolutely incredible. Really
absolutely. That's why I'm gonna collect this goods now, and you know, the tea and the flowers, dry them, and just to use them when the game season will comes to the you know, to the when it starts, and then we'll try to, you know, use these ingredients and do some new dishes with it. So absolutely, yeah.
Thank you, Chef Bob. Sounds amazing. Right, guys, just want to quickly take you back to this gluten-free bread very quickly. So here we go now. That's the mixture there. So it's a bit like a cake batter, if you can see. It's all in there. And I blended that for about 4 minutes because it does need a lot of blending because all of the nuts were all whole. And obviously sometimes you get big, you know, whole nuts in there, which you do not want. So here, I'm just going to get a spatula. Here we go. And just get all of this out. Well, attempt to. Last time I tried this, I got it everywhere. Thank you, Becky. Becky, can you just get the brush? And so what Becky's going to do now is, if you can just come over here, Becky, here, and then, so we've just got, we're going to make this into muffins, guys, right? So Becky's just going to line this with butter, just so it doesn't stick. And I'm just going to get the rest of the batter out here. While we do that, Chef Bob, why don't you tell us about what you're doing next?
Okay, next, so it's going to be a little bit of cooking now. So I have decided to do, I've got the ingredients, which I've got the courgettes, a little bit of courgettes. I've got the prawns. I've got the garlic. I've got the spring onions, butter, lemon, and sweet chili sauce. So, and I believe will be
Safflower.
suggested to one of these, which is this one. Yay. It's called Safflower. Yeah. So what I'm gonna do first, I'm gonna have just chop some. I don't know if you can see me or something. Yeah, that's it. So I'm gonna start with a hot pan, very quick, simple dish. Something, you know, at the moment we are not trying to do something which you spend lots of time, but we want to do some nice quick dishes at home, and very, you know, we don't want to throw away any food. So I'm trying to do whatever I've got in the fridge. I'm trying to do something with it. So I've got my hot pan. I'm gonna add a little bit of olive oil and just flavor this olive oil with the garlic. So yeah, so I've got the garlic. I'm gonna cut some spring onions, and at the end I'm gonna add the spring onions and beautiful courgettes. So it's gonna be kind of, again, sharing dish. So kind of snack before dinner or even quick lunch. So I've got my beautiful garlic. Oh, smells nice, so good. Then I'm gonna cut my courgettes, which can be, you know, this is vegetables which you can eat raw, you can eat cook, you can do anything you want with it. So I'm just cutting just roughly chunky. So I want still kind of al dente, crispy, and nice, and keep it nice and fresh. So I've got my garlic. I'm gonna my target prawns. Wow, that smells so nice.
Great wrist action there, Chef Bob. You make it look so easy.
I know it's easy, but this cooking is everything is easy when you're cooking. All you need to do is just follow some very basic rules. And I have to say, it's not nothing which is, you know, something difficult. Once you follow the recipe, once you follow the cookbook or something, it's easy. You know, even for me, you know, chef like me with the 25 years experience, I make mistakes, and I have to say I think I'm gonna make mistake today because I took a little bit too early my cream cheese for my dessert, and it looks like split because it's 30 degrees outside.
Tell me about it. Tell me about it.
So that's gonna be probably. So I've got my, if you can see, I've got my prawns, I've got my courgettes, which looks nice and green. So I just want to keep it very nice and simple. Salt, pepper, and here we go. I don't know if you can see. Now cooking at home is kind of difficult because the weather. I have to say, I've never seen weather like this in the UK. 30 degrees where I live over here, outside on the sun.
Amazing.
I know.
It's amazing.
Oh, wow.
It's the perfect weather to be not cooking.
No, it's perfect. It's perfect weather to cook something very light.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And something which and I found, for example, drinking tea in the hot weather is absolutely fantastic.
It really is.
Yes, I found this. I mean, I'm kind of traveling to Turkey with most of the time with my friends, and when you go to Turkey, is a first they give you the tea. So it's even if it's 35 degrees, the tea is just perfect. You don't sweat, you don't just feel tired and everything. Yeah, so this is my prawns. So, and I'm gonna add just a little bit sweet chili sauce.
Ooh.
I love that.
Yes.
That sounds amazing.
I-
Now, Chef Bob, I just want to show people what's happening over here so we can put this into the oven. So Becky, can you just tell us what you've done there?
Yeah, so we've literally, obviously this is all blended up now nicely. So we've just put 2 tablespoons of each, in each little
Compartment?
compartment here,
Yeah, so we pre-buttered it, guys, because obviously, you know, it's like a bread. It's got the same texture, but you do need a little bit of butter. And then all I'm going to do for this, guys, is just put some Gruyere cheese on top and then put it in the oven for about 25 minutes on gas mark 6. So we'll pass back over to you, Chef Bob. We just wanted to show this.
Yeah. Okay, so they're almost finished. So what I need to do, all you need to do, little fork, little dish, and just put them into whatever you want to serve with. And it's kind of very quick for the hot weather with a beautiful tea at the end. Beautiful, simple dish. You don't have to, you don't need anything. Just quickly, a little bit of radish, whatever you've got, any herbs. I've got some parsley, I've got some dill, and a beautiful kind of spicy prawns, and yeah, And that's my dish. That's a homey cooking. So here we go. Little dish with a.
Wow.
Wow, that looks incredible.
That's what you need. It's a 5 minutes dish. Courgettes, garlic, little bit of sweet chili sauce, dill, and a little bit of radish. And that's what you need for the hot weather and with a nice afternoon for your snack with afternoon tea. Sharing kind of concept.
It looks amazing, Chef Bob. Absolutely amazing. So, guys, I'm just putting some Gruyere cheese on here, and then this is going to go into the oven. Arlene, we did something with prawns one day, didn't we? Sorry, Becky, where are you? We did something with prawns on one of your teas. Do you want to tell everybody about that?
Yeah, so a perfect dish to go, a perfect infusion to go with this would be the safflower, which Chef Bob actually mentioned. And I've actually got some brewed. I'll show you guys on camera. It's beautiful golden brew. It's not to be confused with saffron. Saffron and safflower are two different plants. They're not even related. And actually, saffron is the stamen of the plant, so the inner core bit. Whereas safflower are literally the petals of the safflower that you're brewing and drinking. So different part of the plant and different plant. But they both give off the similar dye, which is obviously an orange color, similar to that you find in carrots as well. And it is an absolutely stunning herb, very different in flavor as well to saffron. It's got an almost caramel honey-like flavor. A lot of people say it reminds them of rooibos. So I'm not sure whether you tried it, Chef Bob, but I don't know what tasting notes you got, but a lot of people have said caramel, honey, and rooibos, and very different in smell too. But it's a beautiful herb. It stands up so well to oriental flavors, chai spices. What we did, so Diaz and I, we collaborated at a hospitality event where we did a pairing. It was very spicy prawns, similar to the ones that you actually made. And we paired it with the safflower, and actually it had things like chili, it had things like garlic. You know, we've done it with soy flavors as well. So it can take spice. It can take spice. So it's actually one of the most robust herbs you can get. So yeah, I've just brewed it.
Did you get to try it, Chef Bob, as well?
I'm trying it's like I'm the chef, so I'm tasting everything when it's dry, not cooked, and I smell. For me, the main thing is a look, and I have to say the color of it is just amazing. You can see even a little bit of flowers here, kind of the end of it. So, and I have to say the orange is my favorite color.
Oh, it's such a happy color, isn't it, Chef Bob?
Yes, it is.
So
I'm gonna show you later on with that dish, because it's some for me. It's about by the smell and taste, even when it's dry, I like it.
You're a really good chef, because actually lots of chefs taste the ingredients dry because their palates are so sophisticated. Actually, we took Nazani tea to Brazil, to Rio de Janeiro, to the Copacabana Palace Hotel, and the gentleman there who wanted to try it was doing exactly that. He was eating the olive leaf tea, he was eating the grain, eating the safflower, because for him that was the best way for him to actually taste the flavor. So I think that's a common amongst chefs, right? You want to see what it's like without anything added to it.
Anything which grows, and what we do is a look, we smell, and we taste. Even if it's raw, we're not scared of anything, because you need to understand, and you need to kind of just to know what's the flavor is beginning, end, and at the end when it's on the plate. So even for us chefs, we don't have to taste it, because we know the taste before even cooking. So this kind of how some of the people asking, how do you know how this is gonna be? You can put a recipe from your head on the paper in 5 minutes. How do you know this is gonna match this and that? Because we know the flavors, like alphabet. We know the alphabet, so we know how to create the word.
Yeah, and just to say that a lot of the ones that, so the reason why I've done this is because I haven't seen anything that compares in flavor, because a lot of the safflowers you will get and a lot of the herbs you will get are fumigated. So of course, when it goes through the fumigation process, which is basically asphyxiation of all bugs by smoking nearby, you lose a lot of the flavor in the safflower, and it is coated with, you know, soot, but you can't see it, but it is coated with low levels of soot, and of course that loses the aroma, that also loses the flavor, and the taste is actually quite dumbed down. So this is wild, untouched, and absolutely no fumigation, so all the flavors instantly you can smell and taste. And I've actually poured some out into a cup so everyone can see the actual color.
The color is amazing. It's amazing.
It's almost, it looks like a brandy or a whiskey.
It really does.
Whoa.
People will think you're drinking in the afternoon, but no, it is literally that golden in color. And actually it was used as a dye for the past 3,000 years. It's been used as a dye. So almost like, you know, the ancient Egyptians, the ancient Armenians would use it to dye fabrics. But then eventually they realized actually it tasted amazing and there were lots of health benefits. So it went from being used commercially for textiles to actually a wonderful herbal infusion.
Excellent, excellent.
Amazing. And what have you got in your bowl there, Chef Bob?
So what I did well, we've got the afternoon sandwiches kind of filling. We've got the snack with a nice, beautiful tea. And now is the dessert. So I have to say the weather is hot, and one of my ingredients, a little bit of, looks like split, but I managed to bring it back. So what I did is a very quick chocolate mousse, which you don't have to cook it. So it's kind of something very light. So what I did, I used the mountain mint, which goes absolutely fantastic with the chocolates.
Oh, I love it.
So I did a little bit of beautiful kind of tea extraction again. And it's so, I have to say, it's so refreshing. So I think everybody knows after 8 flavor, so what I did is a chocolate, cocoa powder, double cream. I did cream cheese and sugar and mountain mint tea extract, which I made from the tea. I'm gonna add it in, and just with the cream, with everything in, all you need to do is just fill whatever you've got to fill, which I've got, and leave it to set. So I've got little thingy here, which is little. I think should be a little bit more set, but I will set in the fridge definitely. So I've got my little thingies, which is chocolate mousse inside.
That looks sensational, Chef Bob.
I have a bigger portion, which I'm gonna put in.
Is that for me?
Yes. And I've got chocolate at the end. So whatever you can use, if you want to use the fruit, you can use the fruit, something very light. So I've got little chocolate, which I'm gonna just shave it on the top, which gives us a little bit of kind of.
That's amazing, doesn't it, Beck? Like a chocolate mousse that you don't have to cook, so it's so light.
Yeah, you don't have to cook it. You don't have to. You just leave it for a couple of hours in the fridge, and just.
I'll give you some mouth watering.
And just looks like little shot of.
Oh.
And if you want, you can leave it in a bigger kind of glass, something, and just leave it in the fridge. All you need to do is just voila, you've got a beautiful mountain mint chocolate mousse flavor.
That sounds amazing, Chef Bob. Chef Bob, we'll come back to you in just a second to talk about that mousse, because I want you to try it in front of us. It looks amazing. Guys, very quickly, I wanted to show you how we're going to make scones. So, Becky, what's the ingredients that I've got in this dry mixing bowl?
So we've got 350 grams of self-raising flour in there, and I had to write this down earlier, sorry, because there's quite a lot. And a quarter of a teaspoon of salt,
Yeah.
We've got a teaspoon of baking powder as well in there, and also 85 grams of butter.
Cubed. So I'm just going to make this into breadcrumbs before we add the wet ingredients, and we'll tell you what that is. Anybody baking along with us, like, we hope you're going to enjoy this. It's a very quick scone recipe. So back to you, Chef Bob and Arlene, to talk about that lovely chocolate mousse.
Yeah. So yeah, so I've got all my, I have to say, this is my kind of set is already here. So you can see that I've got my pate, I've got my elderflower, I've got my tea, I've got my prawns. That's beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, I'll chime in with some information about the mountain mint actually, because it's quite a different mint to anything anyone's ever tried. So commercially, of course, everyone's familiar with spearmint, peppermint, and Moroccan mint. This is very different. So this is a wild varietal. It's more of an ornamental variety. And the reason why it's fluffy is because it's milled to be able to obviously release the essential oils, because of it's not been bred to be of culinary use. It's literally what people have been drinking for thousands and thousands of years, untouched. Although there are some strains, so mentha peperita, so peppermint, you can actually trace it back to mentha longifolia, which is the Latin name for mountain mint, which is why when you smell it, you have a very peppermint-esque flavor, but that doesn't actually then transfer into the brew. And one thing that's quite unique about this is, and it does, a lot of chefs and people in the industry are actually quite blown away by the fact that it's not a cooling sensation. It's more of a warming, soothing flavor. So it's not the kind of mint that you would expect. And actually it's quite a delicate and refined, it doesn't blast your palate. So for instance, when you have pairing menus or 6 different courses and you pair with each course, and then you have a mint mid-course, you don't then expect it to stay in your palate for the rest of the dinner.
It's such an
so
amazing mint.
Sorry?
It's amazing mint, isn't it? Everybody always says how subtle it is.
Yeah, it's almost like you're drinking a herbal infusion, and then at the very end you get a very minty, refreshing flavor that's warming. So not what you're expecting. It's won Great Taste Awards. The judges were really not expecting that. All the comments came back that they were blown away by the fact that it's not what they expected as a mint that they come across. And yeah, it's been used for thousands of years. So one of the ancient varietals that still exists today.
Amazing.
And this one's also foraged from Armenia. We've used Armenia because it has such a large bounty of refreshing, beautiful, untouched herbs. And this one comes from 1,800 meters above sea level.
Amazing. Arlene, we'll come back to you in just a second. Guys, I just wanted to show you the next stage of the scones. So we've made this into breadcrumbs, or with all the dry ingredients and the butter. We've got some milk here. Now, I don't have buttermilk, so to turn it sour, I'm just going to add a squeeze everywhere else as well. Lime in there. And then Becky is just going to add some vanilla extract.
Yeah.
I'll tell you when to stop. So about a teaspoon. Oh, that's, yeah. See, now it's all started curdling. That's what we want.
Literally gone all over the floor.
Yeah, exactly, guys. And then you just want to add your wet
That's a very quick version of buttermilk, I have to say. Quick version of buttermilk.
Exactly. If you don't have the buttermilk, Chef Bob, you can just add a bit of lime. So I'm just going to mix this together, guys. Now, it's going to look really wet when you start off, but that's why you have more flour. And then you don't want to mix it too much. You just want to mix it together like that and then bring it onto a board. And then what we'll do is roll it out, cut it, and I'll show you again when it's cut onto the trays. But I'm going to actually make this into a dough and put this onto the board. So Chef Bob, do you like scones?
I do, but not big fan of them. But yes, I usually I'm eating them with the clotted cream as everyone, and beautiful jam or something, homemade jam. That's perfect. I have to say, for me scones are something different. We're completely from different countries, so this is kind of your history, UK history. For us, it's kind of still something new. And when you introduce the scones, for example, Polish people or some European people, they're like, what is this? How can you eat super fat, the clotted cream and jam and scone? So full of energy. It's like, are you serious? So yeah, I love this kind of stuff. But you need to learn how to you need to learn the cuisine, you need to learn the history, you need to learn the tradition of completely different countries. It's like, you know, drinking the completely different tea. In Poland, we've got the lemon tea. In UK, when I'm in UK, I'm switching into the full English breakfast, for example, with the milk. When I'm in Turkey, I'm drinking Turkish tea. I'm trying to be completely different. But I've got a question. Which one of those three teas, which part of the day you will recommend? I mean, elderflower and the mountain mint.
Okay, so from a health perspective or just generally?
Health perspective, energy perspective. I mean, probably. I mean, health and energy comes together. When you've got the energy, that means you're healthy. If you don't have energy, that means you're not healthy. So
Yeah.
it works both ways. So, for example, if you're not healthy, we start with the no healthy, and which part you drink in the morning or you drink at night time.
Okay, so actually, well, I can tell you a safflower as well. So mint is so good for digestion. Everyone talks about it. And what it does is it helps to release enzymes. That means that you better assimilate whatever you're eating. Now, your metabolism is the fastest from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And then, of course, it slows down. And then before you sleep, it's at its slowest. So that's why everyone has a digestif. And they have mint, and that's absolutely fine. But what you can do, of course, is you can have mint during those 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. time. So after a large lunch. And what that would do is it would get your metabolism to be the best it can perform. So if you've had a big lunch and you bear in mind your metabolism is fastest, then you can help it and make it absorb more during that time. Of course, if you're going down the health route, what you'd want to do is then have a lighter dinner. So, you know, they say you have breakfast like a king, lunch like a prince, and then you have dinner like a pauper. But actually, you don't really want to have too much for breakfast, really, because, again, your metabolism is slow. If you wake up at 7 or 8 a.m., it's going to be very slow. So you want things to wake it up. And then by lunch, then you want to make it work to its best, and then you can eat more then. And so mint would be perfect for lunchtime, as well as the evening, of course. It means that it helps your metabolism in the evening. But if you're doing one and the other, I would suggest safflower in the evening and mint at lunch. Right. And what safflower does, it's very interesting. So it's a really good detox herb in all senses. So it's fantastic, for instance, for the liver. It's really good to balance cholesterols, and it also helps with the gut. So what it does is it helps the gut pass everything through. It's not a laxative, so don't worry. But it helps pass things through. So if you have a heavy meal, yes, you want it to digest well. So that's the mint. That's where mint comes into play. But then, of course, the safflower will help with past the stomach. So the colon, the small intestine, etc. And it would pass it out. So it means that you have less chance of all the heavy food staying in your stomach until the next day.
Guys, just wanted to very quickly, Arlene, sorry to interrupt you, just very quickly show you the scones. They are now ready for the oven, so they've been cut. All we're going to do to this, guys, is just add some egg wash from a fine china cup. Why not? And we've got some egg wash here that we're going to put onto the scones. Sorry, Arlene, back to you.
Say again?
Sorry, back to you, Arlene.
Great, yeah. And then also, so safflower, you don't want basically everything staying in the actual gut. You want it passing because you don't want the toxins and all the preservatives and all the bad food staying. And you don't want to go to sleep really feeling quite heavy. You want to go to sleep feeling lighter so that, you know, your body can focus on repairing itself and not digesting through the night. Because, of course, when you sleep, that's the time when your body actually flushes out toxins and repairs itself. So that's fundamental. In terms of elderflower, I mean, elderflower is fantastic at any time of the day, just generally. It's very anti-inflammatory. It's antiviral, antibacterial. And it's just generally quite an uplifting, refreshing drink. So I think it's probably better suited to the day than the night. But again, they're all caffeine free, so you can have them in the evening as well. And it does mean that it won't interfere with your sleep pattern. So yeah, anytime, day or night for elderflower. but safflower definitely in the evening, and then mint either for lunch or for evening.
What about the linden tea? That's what's really kind of I'm interested in as well.
So Lipa, linden, teal, tilia, lime blossom. It goes by many names, but
Lipa.
yeah, Lipa, Lipa, yeah. It's good. It's okay. It's not bad. So for everyone that's just watching, Lipa actually in Polish means not great, I think.
Yes.
But it's definitely great. It's definitely great.
Oh my God, it's a Lipa. That means if something goes bad.
No, but it's a good linden. So basically, linden's very interesting. It's very powerful. It's very good before bed. It's very good in the fight for anxiety-related insomnia. So it's very calming. There are actually a lot of antioxidants in there, and as a result, you know, it's perfect all-round health-wise, but also decongestant. So if you're ill, so this is what I do when I'm ill. I put elderflower, I put linden together, which is what the monks used to do in the Caucasian mountains, but I also put olive leaf and something else, and that's immunity. And I put them all together, and it basically clears out the sinuses, it relaxes you, it lowers your heart rate, you calm down, and it means that your body is working better because of all the antioxidants.
So how to get those, for example, flavors in kind of I'm thinking straight away about the recipe, how to make it. Okay, so I want to make, for example, something which will mixture of elderflower, linden, and mountain mint. Can we mix them together and just, okay, this mixture is for that, this mixture is for this, you know, kind of
blending. Do you mean blending?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can blend. I mean, they're all very subtle flavors. The wonderful thing about, so it depends on how the plants grow. If they're wild, the chances are they will have more delicate flavors. So it means it's better for blending. You know that when things are fertilized, you can actually flavor the plant. So you can change the flavors using fertilizer. So our chamomile provider, she had initially put seaweed, organic seaweed fertilizer for her teas. She does actual tea, Camellia sinensis tea. And a tea master said, oh, it tastes very fishy. So there was an overpowering fishy taste. And she said, oh no, I've been using seaweed fertilizer. And he said, just get rid of it. It flavors anything. So the point is, because they're wild, they're very delicate. So they mix very well. So the linden and the elderflower I mix. Now, I don't just mix for flavor. I also mix for functionality. So for instance, if I'm feeling more bunged up, I'll put more linden to elderflower content. If I'm feeling like my body has given or is going to give in to a really bad flu or a virus, I'll put more elderflower in there, and also olive leaf. So depending on what functionality you want. So if, for instance, if you put safflower, and I don't think safflower and mint would go, but if you were to combine the properties of them, you know, depending on whether you want the guts to be worked or the stomach to be worked, you could increase the dosage as you want. So you can blend for flavor, but also you can blend for functionality as well.
Okay, that's the main thing which I want to know.
Guys, I've just taken the gluten-free bread out of the oven. Let me show you. So I'm just getting a palette knife and loosening around this. But it looks better. How nice does that smell?
It looks amazing. It smells delicious.
And you know, it works really well with just some cream cheese and chives, or just some butter, or just indeed on its own. But look, guys, this is what it looks like when it comes out. So it's like beautiful little muffins that are gluten-free. Absolute. Can you see them, guys?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
They're absolutely delicious. And actually, I'll show you the texture inside one.
I was going to say,
look at the texture, guys. It's just like bread. Oh,
and
smell that smells so good, doesn't it?
I don't really like gluten-free bread. Normally, like, you know, if it's store-bought, it's quite tough. So, whereas this is absolutely amazing.
Yeah, this one looks kind of very fluffy as well, kind of very soft.
Fluffy.
Yeah, it's so fluffy, Chef Bob, and it works. It works because you use very light nuts. So you use almond, coconut, and Brazil nuts. You can use pecans, you can use walnuts, but then you have to put a bit of bicarbonate of soda, Chef Bob, and baking powder in there to give it that rise. Otherwise, it would be really, really dense. I've been practicing this actually for a couple of weeks because I wanted to get it right. And the first time I started doing it, it was very dense and not fluffy. So I've adjusted it to make it fluffy. So yeah, and it works so well with the Nazani tea, roasted spring oat tea. It's amazing because the oat tea has got caramel taste, it's got a nutty taste, and it just works so well with the cheese.
Yeah.
I'll get the scones out in a minute. Chef Bob, how was the chocolate mousse?
It's still setting, almost there. Probably will take another hour to set. Yeah, but I mean,
it set it at room temperature, or are you going to refrigerate that?
no, I'm gonna put it in the fridge. I've got one big one in the fridge, but this one is just. I love to do the pictures of for whatever I do is for kind of. This is something which every chef has got, problem with, how to show the best, apart from flavor, you need to expose your dish and make the best pictures. Sometimes I'm sitting 1 hour just with one dish, changing the gas, and trying to do the best angle of the dish, and finally I'm like, it's not today.
Chef Bob, we were talking I just want to finish the blending question that you had as well. The olive leaf generally is a beautiful texture, so it's a thickener as well. So if you were to blend, adding olive leaf, which is a very subtle, delicate green umami flavor, but it's very delicate, you could always mix it and you bulk up the whatever you're drinking. So it's almost like, when you have a coffee, you have the oils of the coffee, and it makes it feel like you're drinking something substantial, because in effect all that tea is flavored water. So you'll have minimal essential oils, but of course the high omega-3 content in olive leaf, it basically comes out into the water. So a lot of places, they, like for instance, we have a place called the Elan Cafe, they use olive leaf just to bulk up the long brew that they do. And it means it's like a thicker, syrupy texture to it.
Okay.
Gives it body, yeah. So
Yeah,
that's again something you could do. So there's a lot of things you can mix together, yeah.
Lots of flavor for me, which I'm gonna probably next couple of weeks I'm gonna play around with.
I'll call you in 2 weeks to see how you got on.
Make my own blend and just putting on okay, 1 spoon, 2 spoon. What I'm gonna do today, I'm gonna have some more energy. I'm gonna go to sleep nice.
If you want energy and without caffeine,
I think most of the chefs, yes, we love, end of the day we need some energy, so tea will be something which is more.
Something you can do actually, because I know that obviously when I go down to look at the kitchens in various restaurants, it's very hot down there, and I know it's quite a sweaty job. One thing is always to keep hydrated, and that's a tip I can give you guys. And basically what you do is I infuse, so Diaz said the roasted spring oats, so I infuse, I don't know whether you can see that, the oats. I have oats here. I think you may have Kiki on as well that has oats in it. So basically anything like barley or roasted spring oats, these are picked at altitude again. They're literally untouched by any chemicals. You brew them overnight and then you drink them through the day. And because there is a higher level of electrolytes in them, you will feel more hydrated as a result. So although it doesn't give you a caffeine pickup, of course, it gives you energy in the sense that you're not falling asleep, or you're hydrated basically. And especially in hot circumstances where it's humid, it's hot, you've got your overalls on, everything. If you want energy without the caffeine kick, then it's good to hydrate.
So soon when I come back to the kitchen, summer comes very quickly. So I'm gonna make big bucket 10 liters of tea, leave it in the fridge, and next day just doing the ladle and just put it in the cup.
Do you remember last year we had 6 weeks? Were you here last week when we had 6 weeks of back-to-back sun? On the hottest day of the year, it was like 38 or something like that. The day before that was like maybe a degree less. I found myself almost passing out. And I thought to myself, I should practice what I preach. So on the hottest day of the year, I was drinking the oat infusion, and I have to say I didn't feel thirsty. It was quite incredible. And of course, the Japanese literally replaced water with grains infused all summer. Like they don't drink water anymore. It's just oats or barley or buckwheat, sobacha, If
So
that's
the good thing is don't contain too much tea, so you can drink and you can just water your system. But for us, it's difficult. And then at nighttime we can do it just nice and easy. You can go to sleep.
yeah, definitely the linden,
Yeah.
the leafer.
Guys, we have literally a couple of minutes left now. So can you believe we've been here an hour, guys? Like, how quick did that go?
Yes.
Yeah, I know.
Amazing. Hopefully, guys, my scones aren't ready, so I won't take them out, but I will put a picture up later. So, guys, I hope you've got some inspiration from the wonderful Chef Bob and those amazing dishes that you created. I can't believe you created them so quickly, Chef Bob. And obviously, Arlene's wonderful knowledge about the different flavor profiles, the health benefits. Afternoon tea experience can be modern, it can be dynamic. Like you said, Chef Bob, it doesn't just have to be.
We can break the tradition. We can play around with food. I think you're not gonna go to prison for this.
The food police.
Exactly. An afternoon tea can be a healthy affair, it can be an indulgent affair, it can be a plant-based affair, it can be a meat-based affair. Let's get creative. And Chef Bob just showed us how simple, some amazing cuisinery with lovely tea like Nazani can be.
Yeah, amazing.
Exactly.
Arlene, any words of wisdom from yourself before we go?
Stay hydrated. It's so hot outside.
Tell me about it. Okay, guys, really lovely to see you. Thank you so much. I hope everybody's enjoyed this. And I'm going to be baking again. I'm doing a Swiss roll now. So, God, it's too hot for baking.
You need oats. You need oats.
I do, Arlene. I don't have any, though. Thank you so much, Kev.
Bye. Take care. Bye.